You're listening to Long Talks with Hannah Mae
and Charlie J.
I'm a full-time musician.
And I'm in business marketing.
Together, we're two young adults who started a podcast on a broken couch.
Every week, we talk life, mental health, relationships, music, and much more.
Occasionally, we'll have a guest on and dive into their life as well.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show.
I sang it.
Good job. Hi.
Episode 4.
What? 4 episodes.
So today is the day that we released 3 of them.
Yes.
And we heard some good stuff.
Yeah. People have already been reaching out to me saying they've been listening, and that makes me really happy.
We are on iTunes. I mean, you're probably listening to it from iTunes.
I mean, we're kind of a big
please.
Deal. Just kidding.
We need a review.
Oh, yeah. Review. Rate us. Write a note.
Write us a little note. We'll read it.
Yeah. We'll read a little note.
And we have like a Facebook group. We have an Instagram page.
Yes.
Facebook group
everything.
is Long Talks. Instagram page is Long Talks Pod. And then I'm going to start a Twitter page for us too, just because it's so we can communicate faster with people, because it's a faster way to communicate with people, with listeners and stuff.
You do you, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll take that one.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it. I'm just here
that'll probably be Long Talks Pod too. So by the time this comes out, you can check it out on Twitter.
Holla.
And so we just finished dinner.
Yes.
And the vow. My name is Charlie, by the way.
Hi, this is Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Charlie.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Okay.
It's cold in here.
I don't like this time of year.
Oh, no.
And I will tell you why. It makes me very anxious this time of year. Because
anxious?
Mm-hmm. Because this is the time of year when basketball would be starting.
Oh.
Like we would start practices and open gyms
training
and stuff.
like that?
Training and stuff.
Okay.
Which means I would have to do we would start school at 7:20.
Gross.
But senior year, I think we did shoot-arounds at 6:30.
Shoot-arounds?
Basically the team would get together and we would just shoot.
Oh, okay.
Just weren't do drills or whatever.
Oh, okay. free throws?
Free throws and other shots too.
Oh, okay.
And 3 throws, more than 3 throws.
3 throws?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 throws at least.
But we would do that before school. And then we're all fucking sweaty and gross. But,
gross.
And a lot of my anxiety stems from sports. So
yeah, because your coach was terrible.
My
abusive.
8th grade coach was physically and emotionally abusive.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'm sure. Actually, I don't know if he knows it. Do you think people look back on? Do you think a guy like that would look back on that and go, "Hey, I'm really sorry." He would literally shove kids. He shoved a kid in the lockers.
Whoa.
Into a teammate of mine into a locker.
Man.
And it was oh, ha ha, funny joke.
I don't know, because sometimes I feel like people grow and learn and do, or they do look back and say oh man, that was terrible, I shouldn't have done that. But sometimes people are who they are, and they are just
he doesn't have any awareness.
He doesn't, because you have to have some sort of self-awareness in order to grow. You have to be able to look at yourself and look at your innermost being and be I don't want to be that person, I want to grow. But a lot of people, that's hard. That's a hard thing to do, so a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know him.
It's very hard to do. No, he was a dick.
Don't say that word. That's my grandfather's name.
He was an asshole.
Thank you.
He was a fuckface.
That
caused me a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And his dad was our assistant coach. And then during the year that I can't believe I never told you this, but 8th grade, middle school. Apparently you went 3 years to middle school, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. 3. Okay. First of all, background for this conversation. My middle school was 6, 7, 8. Yours was 6, 7, 8, 9. Right?
No, my middle school was just 7, 8.
Oh.
Elementary was 1 through 6.
What?
High school was 9 through 12.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Middle school is only 2 years?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
It was kind of
I feel like that's
weird.
So jarring.
Yeah. I mean, they are very important years in your life. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I guess when you're that, I wasn't really thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, continue. You were basketballing.
So I was basketballing. It's my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court.
Yes. It's like a boop, boop,
that's a
boop,
song.
boop, boop. Is it?
Yeah, I just basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court.
Who does that?
I don't know. It was in Space Jam.
Oh, okay.
That's all I know.
I feel like that sounds like Aaron Carter, but I don't think it is.
Did you see the Space Jam 2 thing?
I did. I'm excited
Did I show
about
that
it.
to you?
Yes.
But you're not a Space Jam
I'm
OG fan.
Oh, no, I was. Are you
Well-
kidding me? My friend Jackie and I, we made up an interpretive dance to several of the songs from the Space
Well, then how
Jam
dare you?
Jams playlist.
It can't be. Why are they even trying? I mean, I know why, obviously, money, and there's an audience. There's already an audience there.
It's this new wonderful world for this generation, and it's a way to relate that to these kids. You know what I mean? Like, because they can talk about situations that are happening now. They can talk about things that are going on now that these kids can relate to in
be
a
about
fun
basketball.
way. I know, but it's still like
Oh, the Monstars.
there's gonna be like great basketball players because all the cool basketball players were in Space Jam. They're rich, so now they're bringing in new
Michael Jordan and Bill Murray were in it. I don't know who else was in
Well,
it.
remember they stole the talent of
Yeah, that's right.
Larry Bird,
Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Yeah, like a bunch of people.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it's just the thing I have with LeBron James. It's just
LeBron James. You don't like him? I like him.
I like everything that he uses his fame for, which is great.
He seems like a good guy.
Don't necessarily think because people. I just think anyway. Jordan's better. Michael Jordan is better. I think so. Anyway.
Is it this about like the championship thing? Is that
No,
like,
it's just the
okay.
thing that people like always like bring up Michael Jordan or LeBron James as the best player in basketball.
They're both great.
They're both great, but they both played in different times. And my argument is it was harder back then
Oh, okay.
in Michael Jordan times,
Okay.
which was like not that long.
I
ago.
guess because I'm not like competitive, I don't care. Like they're
That's
both
okay.
great basketball players. I don't know basketball players. Like I'm not a basketball fan. I know Michael Jordan's name. I know LeBron James' name.
Here's what I will say, and it comes.
So good for
well,
them.
and
They get my recognition,
comes
so
from-
that's all they need. Who cares about championship
this
rings?
comes.
Hannah
I don't
Groves
give a
knows who
shit
you
about
are.
that. I don't give a shit about championship rings. I don't follow whatever team he's on. I don't really care. I think he. Like they made a rule after he joined the pros that you have to have at least 1 year of high school. Is it 1 year or 1 year of college basketball? Like you nobody can go from high school to the pros anymore.
Oh, right. One and done.
It's
Lots
called.
of people
Is it 1 year? Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people from Kentucky,
Yeah.
a lot of those players,
Oh God.
they're all one and done.
I know that's ridiculous
know?
because they're all.
Look at me, know what basketball is about. Thank you,
Well,
Calvin.
that's really good. That they've done that for a while, where they're like first 8 or whatever players, their top 8 players have just been like these humongous NBA
Well,
players.
isn't it because like didn't they justify the rule? I don't want to get in because I don't really
We're
care.
talking
but like,
sports with one person who knows sports.
Exactly. This is the thrilling conversation you guys came here for.
Yeah.
But isn't it because they did the rule because of the maturity thing? Like they needed because these kids were coming from
Yes, I think so. I think it
like
was,
high school and like you just there's just a different
Can you imagine
maturity level
18
going
years
from
old
like going
to being a
18
multimillionaire?
Yes,
right away.
Oh my
and that's
God.
why that's what I was gonna say about LeBron. I think his ego in the past has really kind of annoyed me. Where it's like, remember when you might remember when he took up a bunch of airtime just to say where he was going next, like where he was being like where he was going to take his talents to.
Nope. I
You
don't
remember
know
that?
Nope,
Wow.
I don't.
He like bought airtime and like just so he could say it on the air that he was going to go.
You can buy air.
You can buy air and time.
Okay.
And his defense, not super great. Anyway.
Don't care. He seems like a really nice guy.
Fucking dare you.
And I like everything he's been in, like because he's been in some other stuff, and I think he's a funny guy and a nice guy, and I'm gonna say
Oh,
it.
so you're talking about the actor / person LeBron
Correct.
James. I'm talking
Correct.
about the
I don't care.
sportsman.
I don't care.
What?
The sportsman.
In fairness, I didn't watch him play this year. I don't know if they played this year at all, or how much they played this year. A little bit.
You're asking the wrong person.
Am I asking the right person?
Nope, not at all.
What were we talking about before that? See, I knew we would get off on things. Oh, Space Jam.
You don't. Well, no. But going back even further, you don't like this time of year because it reminds you of basketball because
Yeah.
you were abused by the asshole, and he ruined
Just mentally and not like
Yeah.
sexually. It wasn't weird or anything.
mentally and physically.
I mean, he was kind of
That's
hot.
still a form of abuse. What did you say?
You'll hear it back.
Okay.
I said he was kind of hot, but
Gross.
but that was the year that I had him, and then I had this kid, my high school bully.
Oh.
He was on that team. We were on the same team.
And that was his son? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh.
That's
something different.
That's something different.
Oh, okay.
But he was on my basketball team all the way through high school. But anyway, so this time of year, I don't know. I think about getting up early and it stresses me out, and like the cold air reminds me of, I got to go to like practice and like.
So a friend of mine and I will relate to
Go
what
for
you
it.
said.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Tangent, but it will circle back.
Tanger.
So a friend of mine just went on a like quick getaway, and the last time she had done that, the last time she had stayed in that city and come back, it was during a very, very hard time in her life. And it was not, anyway, it like brought up a lot of that as she was leaving. Like it was a really great time. She was so relaxed.
Right.
She did like a ton of stuff. She needed it because she worked so hard. But on the way back, she all of a sudden started getting like this. She was like getting really depressed, and she was like so sad. And she was like, "What is going on?" She's like, "Why am I thinking like this?" And we talked about it. We had dinner this weekend, and we talked about it. And it's like your brain, it's a muscle reflex.
Oh yeah.
It's like your brain in a certain situation, if something traumatic has happened in a similar situation, your brain is wired to think, oh, this is how I have to feel.
Right.
Because of that, it's just a muscle reflex. It's not
That's what I call my anxiety brain, because because I've had anxiety. I was talking to my dad about this today. I've had anxiety
Bill.
Hey Bill. I've had anxiety for way longer than I've been on pills.
Right.
Relatively.
Yeah.
So my brain is still wired to think like an anxious person, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel the anxiety anymore, which is, great,
Well,
obviously. But
for me, and I relate to this as my depressive state. That's what I call my.
And we live together.
And we
whatever.
live that anyway. But what I do is I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this way. This is my depression speaking. This isn't actually how I'm speaking.
Right.
This isn't how I'm feeling. Sorry.
Yeah.
So let's get going and let's get out of this. So it's like sometimes it takes a second.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, you have to just be like, oh, I'm feeling this way. Oh, nope, I shouldn't. And then move on. And the more you do that, the more you practice that. It's just like, again, it's like any other muscle.
It's like moving your arm.
It is. It's like moving. You guys can't see it, but I'm moving my arm. But it's like, it's training your brain. It's retraining your brain.
Yeah.
And that's what the meds are helping you do as well.
Yeah.
But also because it has been going on for such a long time in your life, and you haven't been on meds that long, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
So I know you hate the state, but you'll get out of it.
Kentucky?
No, like hate the state
I
of your
do
mind.
hate the state.
Get out of here. It's the best.
You know how many fucking ads I see for Mitch McConnell and
Well,
Donald Trump?
we don't like
Because we're
them.
in this state.
But that's because this is a battleground.
We don't like them.
We don't like them.
Yeah, I would. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
I would say I see more ads for Amy McGrath than I do Mitch McConnell. I haven't seen anything.
Pro Amy McGrath?
Yeah. I've not seen anything.
Oh, really? I've seen anti Amy McGrath, pro Mitch. A lot of that. And a ton of pro Trump.
Interesting. I haven't seen any of that.
I haven't seen any pro Biden, really.
Really?
Or Kamala.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are you seeing most of these? YouTube?
YouTube.
Oh, see, I'm not on YouTube. I'm on I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
You're on Reddit and
For
Spritz
book.
Time and fan face. And
Nope, not on any of those.
Facebook? Oh, really? I guess that's because I figure it's all location based.
Yeah.
Like, is why.
Also, anytime a political ad for the person that I don't like pops up, I mark it as spam.
Terrorism.
That's not terrorism.
Yeah, I know. But there was one time, I think I told you one of my friends posted something that was like harmful to people not about not wearing masks and stuff.
Oh.
And I marked it as, oh shit, you know what it was? It was somebody posted about having a unmask Ohio day. And I
Oh.
marked that as terrorism.
As terrorism?
Mm-hmm. It could hurt. That could kill people.
Yeah. There's got to be I mean, that's harmful. Like, I'm not supporting
Thank
that
you.
at all.
No.
But I feel like terrorism is such a, that's taking it to a level I don't think it is.
I didn't type in terrorism. I just clicked it. I clicked spam, and then the first one was like terrorism. I was like, all right, that's fine. Like
Okay.
it the option comes up for you to mark it as terrorism.
Okay.
It's not legit. It's just like whatever.
Well, I do spam, and then I do misleading for when I
totally.
mark things as spam.
And I signed up. God, I get texts from Biden every single day.
Joe, hey Joe.
But it's like, dude, if I can't help you any more than I already have.
Yeah.
I don't need, because now they're prepping for, we're recording this 2 days before. Then 2 days there's the VP debate.
Oh yeah, I'm
Wednesday.
excited about it.
I am too, actually.
I think it's going to be good.
The presidential was
Not great.
horrific.
I couldn't watch it.
Me neither. I had to rely on clips.
I can't even watch
news
clips.
articles.
I've only ever read things. I've not listened to it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's
It's
probably
just
a good way to go.
it.
Because whatever he does, it's not. Whatever he says, it's not true at all.
Yeah.
Like he's been like. It just makes me so mad.
Yep, he does.
And,
anyway, to get away from politics,
we've taken a stance on the
we
show.
have.
Although
Can you tell?
Everyone who's listening knows that. So.
I don't know. There might be some that are still on the fence.
Hey, we're not saying anything about people who are going to vote for that. We're just saying everything that Trump has said has been a lie. That's not, whatever. Anyway, moving away. Backing up slowly.
Backing up slowly. Back to mental health.
Yes.
To circle back, I couldn't watch those because it caused me. It started bringing up anxiety in me. I'm not an anxious person.
Mm-hmm.
And since I have seen what real anxiety does to you, I've tried to stop myself from saying, "Oh, I have anxiety" or something, unless it's like at a certain level, because I think I use that word too flippantly.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Have I? Maybe even on this podcast?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay.
But I think it was for the old one. But yeah,
Okay.
you did say. But I don't know. I think some people definitely do that.
Yeah.
But I think if you're feeling like, if you can literally feel it physically, you're not using it wrong. Like you're just.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean, because I would use it instead of saying nervous.
Yeah.
That makes me nervous.
Makes me
Or
nervous.
that makes me uncomfortable.
Well, 2020 makes me nervous, uncomfortable,
Yes.
anxious.
Yes.
I cannot believe the 2 years that we've lived together
Have been such
have
terrible
been
years.
terrible years.
I know. I was talking to my mom.
Because we lived. No, I'm just kidding. Because we're together.
The last normal year for me,
Yeah.
like the last normal actual year, was 2016. 2017, my dad got diagnosed in April with pancreatic cancer. So that year was dealing with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up passing in end of December.
Right.
So 2018 was mourning year.
Uh-huh.
It changed me dramatically. I still feel like I'm missing a limb.
Yeah.
2019, we moved to California January 7th.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was a weird time, because that was, while yes, I'm so glad that we did it. I think we've grown closer as partners.
Yeah.
I think we've both grown personally in ourselves.
Yeah.
But I won't go back.
No.
I'm glad we did it, but I don't regret it. But I'm so glad that we're back. And then this year has just been awful.
Every time.
Because the beginning of the year was us like, we've got to get back. The decision was made.
I can't believe it. Yeah. It was. We were so excited to get back.
Yeah. So I just had to negotiate basically with work.
Yeah.
So we had decided. And so it was just like getting that, finalizing all of that, and then getting to back here, and then all hell broke loose at the beginning of March
While we were driving.
we
were staying in hotels and wiping down.
Yeah. Well,
each
we
other.
left a week early because we thought they were going to close state lines. Remember?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So
it was
anyway.
weird. It is weird to say that we were lived there because it feels like it lasted forever, but it also didn't last that long.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's nice to be back east.
it is.
East, right? Yeah.
Yes, we are in East Coast.
It's
Yeah.
nice to be back east.
Yeah.
Closer to family and
Yeah.
such.
Agreed.
But not during these times.
Right.
COVID times.
Yeah.
Um
We don't get to see you. It's so strange to me because also like, um, because we have like, in 2017, we started dating,
what?
back and forth a bit. And then 2000, I guess, was it?
17 we met the night of New Year's Eve on 2017.
Right.
2018 we were yeah, it was on and off.
Back and forth. And then we finally committed.
Uh-huh.
And then you literally moved in with me and
I moved in with you on Labor Day of 2018.
and so we were there for 3 months and then we moved, right?
Yep.
So it's so weird to me because like, of course you're like a limb, you know what I mean? Like you're
Thank you.
you're my arm. So it's so like, you know me so well and I know you so well, but it's so weird because the way that the timeline has happened,
Yeah.
we don't know each other's offshoots except for like the close ones, like
Families, you mean?
like family. But like,
Yeah, it's like
all my college friends that have
Well,
popped up and
yeah, it's like we've
commented
been-
on things. You're just
right.
like, who's this? Who's this? And I'm like,
Well,
oh
'cause
man, how
we-
do you not know this
That's
person?
exactly how I sound.
That's exactly it.
We've like
Spot
had
on.
to go backwards in time.
Yeah.
We've had to like figure out each other's lives backwards because California like fused us together as
Mm-hmm.
a couple kind of. And it was crazy intense.
Yeah.
And this year is no different, even though we're back and we were supposed to be like, I came back just for as far as me, for gigs, for money,
Mm-hmm.
because I could have done that. And then, a lot of people died and I lost all my gigs, but
Right.
it's just weird.
Yeah.
But then you're working from home, like I don't know. And then my parents live 10 minutes away, but we're still like, we don't see each other as much. I don't know.
Well, 20 minutes, but still.
25, 21 minutes. But, my dad's got a pre-existing condition. That's condition.
Thank you.
And he's very careful about the COVID.
Yeah.
So
No, it's just
don't know.
interesting because like just the way that it's happened. Because also, for a lot of my family, it's harder for us to get together. Take COVID out of it. In general, it's harder for us to get together because everybody has kids, everybody has jobs, everybody's kind of way more spread out now than they used to be.
right.
And it's just very strange. It's just very strange that like, again, like there are friends of mine that you haven't met, which boggles
Right.
my mind. Just boggles
Yeah.
my mind.
But
It's just
are you really friends with them?
I am,
Do
yeah.
you text them every day?
Not every day. Not every day, but
But it's like nothing. No time has passed when you get
immediately.
together.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a certain. I don't know. Where you all just kind of went off in your own lives. I mean,
Right.
there's It's when when you get older, your tribe gets smaller. You know what I mean? Like as far as people that you talk to every day, people that you communicate to, text with every day, and see much more. Although you would have seen a lot more people this year again
Yeah.
if it wasn't for we would have got married this year, as would a lot of people.
I think
It was on the table.
yeah, it was, but well, I guess that's true. We could have done it this year.
Well, I guess it wasn't even a thought.
It wasn't, yeah,
because
'cause-
by the time we had, well, no, I mean in January, I don't know, maybe not. Who knows?
Well, it's just weird because I had thought yes we were gonna get married because we're engaged on your birthday,
In January,
January,
2020.
and I was like yes I'm a planner. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
on this. We're gonna get married this October. And I think it was you were just like, like we're moving back to Kentucky.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
wait till we get back there. Because also, I wanted to. At the time, I was thinking we were gonna do it through a venue.
Right.
I was like, I have to tour these places. You're right. Like, I need to see these places in person.
Yeah, exactly.
So even without COVID, I still don't think it would have been.
Yeah, it probably would have
This
come down to
year.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be next year.
It'll be next year. But yeah, and we have yeah, that's right. We have the place all picked out, and
We
the
do.
family friend is being nice and letting
Very
us use
nice.
their
farm.
for reception.
It's gonna be great. I'm so excited.
I love those types of weddings. Probably the most, I think. Outside with a tent.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're really fun.
yeah.
Because I don't know why actually, honestly, but I like
I don't know.
it depends on the time of year really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just hope it's not too cold
Yeah, me too.
in Kentucky
Yeah.
next October 16th.
Well, there's,
RSVP now. What? You're all invited.
We hope that everybody can. We hope that we're going to be able to have everybody that we want there. That's what I'm planning for. Is
Yeah.
the list that I have in my head of everybody that I want is going to be able to be there. Things might change because of the state that we're in, not the actual physical
God,
state, but like the.
Hope to God we are not in this situation. Can you imagine? I
know.
mean, so vaccines are going to come out like March or April maybe.
I hope.
And only a third of the country will take it, is a stat that I read in New York
You
Times.
think so?
And I read it in the New York Times that they polled a bunch of people, and that for the first version of the
Oh, right. Vaccine.
vaccine, whether it works or not, only a third of America will take it in the first place,
Interesting.
which is, and yeah, it's weird.
Really? Only a third? I feel like, I guess maybe because people are.
Which is 3 billion people.
Yeah.
But you know.
Maybe it's because it's the first version of it. Maybe other people, because I feel like way more people that I've talked to are open to taking or doing
Yeah, but
vaccines. But do you
we're
think it's
in-
the first because it's the first one?
Maybe that might have something to
Is
do
that
with
why
it.
it's only a third?
Maybe.
Seems weird
But
to
we're
me.
also we're also in our own social circles. Like
This is also
we're talking
correct.
back to each other basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's
Preach into the choir.
it is weird going through because there's been enough time now. Getting back on the political train,
Get out of here.
just for a hot second.
Okay.
There's been enough time now with Trump being in office and stuff, and our country in civil war, that like everyone who's wanted to unfriend each other has unfriended, and everyone who's wanted to friend each other has stayed friends. That everyone's Facebook feed is just a loop of whatever they already feel,
Yeah.
which is the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So if you're like a Trump, if you're a Trump fan, all you're seeing is right
Is
side
other-
stuff, and
is
then
other
all
Trump fans.
we're seeing is
Yeah.
left side stuff.
Yeah.
Democrat.
Yeah.
But
I would say I still I'm still friends with people that are supporters, but when they share things that are filled with hate, that are filled with rage, that's usually when I unfollow people. I've unfollowed a lot of people. I haven't
never unfriended,
unfriended
huh?
anyone.
Let me ask you this, because I just shared this on Facebook. So inside.
Okay.
I just shared this. It was like a list. It was like a left and right list of I won't unfriend for these types of things. It was like conversations on taxes, conversations on like political stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I will unfriend on like super racial stuff. Like, is it okay to have black people in this part of America, and like stuff like that, like really racial stuff and like Nazi stuff and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you still have that kind of stuff in your timeline, or is it just
Do I have that kind of stuff in my
do you have
timeline?
do you have friends posting about that stuff?
Like Nazi stuff?
Because I'll unfriend for that. Like, I've done that before.
Yeah.
If they're pro-Trump and then they just say they're pro-Trump, I'm not going to unfriend them just because
Right.
they say they're pro-Trump.
I don't feel like I have anybody that's been posting pro-Nazi stuff.
Yeah.
There's been a big debate with some of my friends about Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter.
Dude.
But I know a lot of people that have said the All Lives Matter, it's coming from a place of they think everyone is equal.
Sure.
So there's no need to to focus so much on one group of people.
But there is.
That's the thing. So it's like some I have unfollowed. I'm still friends with, because I know it's from a good place in their heart.
Yeah.
That they really do think that everybody is equal, but that's not.
But they're just
the
not.
actual.
There's another layer that they're
There
not
is a very
thinking of.
100%.
You know, people have called me, like, they've said I'm racist because I said Black Lives Matter. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, that seems like such a backwards statement to me.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, we literally not that long ago they were slaves. Like,
know.
really, it's really horrific to think about. And just anyway, so
Yeah.
to get off of,
we still have a long way to go for everyone to be truly equal.
Speaking of truly equal, by the way, did you see that the gay community has taken the phrase
Yes.
proud boys? That's so fucking
I love
awesome.
it so much.
And
so
the right
much.
side is pissed.
I loved it so much.
Hashtag proud boys. They've been proud boys for way longer.
They have. I'm
Which
proud of those boys.
I didn't know was a thing until
I didn't know Proud Boys was a thing until the debate.
National argument.
And that's because I just can't. The news is it's too much. I try to be as informed as I can, but it's like it's too detrimental to my mental health.
Yeah. So
Enough to be informed, because you do need to be informed about what's going on in the world and what's happening in your community. But also, I read a lot of headlines and not a whole lot of articles.
I think,
and that may be true for a lot of people.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Which
may be the
where it's like, hey, did you see that headline? I'm like, well, what do you mean about this? And they're like, I don't know.
I didn't read the article.
But there's so much stuff like on down ballot stuff that we need to like pay attention to. The stuff that is not necessarily in the headlines and in the news and stuff. Like that stuff I'll research.
Yeah.
Just for voting and stuff like that. Because at this point in October, we know who we're voting for. Like, if you don't know who you're voting for by now, I mean, I have a hard time believing,
Yeah.
I have a hard time thinking of why you would be on the fence at this point.
Yeah.
About who you're going to vote for, or not even voting. Like, please vote, people.
Well, I think again, so I mean, I grew up in the church community.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my college friends I met through the Baptist Campus Ministries /BCM.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of conservative Christian friends.
Right.
And I think a lot of them struggle with the vote. I think there's still some that are on the fence because not because of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily agree with anything about that man, but they do care a lot about abortion.
Yes.
Which is a very conservative Republican thing.
Yeah.
They care about some are more fiscally aware, like they are, the taxes and all that kind of stuff. But from my perspective, I have a really hard time being a one or two issue voter.
Yeah.
I came to this conclusion when I was in college. A lot of people might just be coming to that conclusion now. But I can no longer ignore all of the other issues. And while, yes, I am very left, we know this. I used to be pretty right. I used to lean more to the right.
I was going to ask you about that.
Because I didn't think about.
You just wanted what your family did.
No, my family has always been.
Well, so who was the first president you voted for?
Obama, first round.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were you right then, or like did you lean right at that time?
No,
or?
By then I was left.
Oh, got it.
As soon as I went to college, basically.
So like freshman year, you were
freshman year, I was like, what the hell is going
weird.
on? Well, that's not true. No, that was at the beginning of the year of college. I was like, looking back, I was like, ooh, Kerry, gross. I would have totally voted for Bush. But now looking back, I was like, I would have totally voted for Kerry. Get out of here.
Did something happen that made that happen?
Again, it became more about the one issue.
Yeah.
And I took a women's studies class and I learned what abortion really is about.
Yeah.
It's not a form of birth control. It is a woman's right. It is a woman taking her own life into her own hands. It is also not a black and white issue because there are some times where it's about
I was just
the
gonna say
mother's
that.
health. It's about there are situations where, obviously she might have been raped. It might have
Yep.
been an incest situation. Like, it is not black and white. And I know that a lot of people still think that.
Yeah.
It's just not. And again, like,
The
I
non
have become more socially aware. So those became my more of my issues. And I don't make enough money to care about taxes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like a Republican tax for maybe one day. The Republican tax reform is not going to affect me
Yeah.
in any way. It's just not, or enough for me to notice.
True. Yes.
It might
that's
affect
very
me,
true.
but it's not enough for me to be like, ooh.
Yeah. I don't care.
That was a great. Did you hear
That
that? I was
really
like,
good.
ooh.
That's a
That's
great
exactly what I said.
voter who
Like-
doesn't know what they're talking about. Yeah, the big things for me now are healthcare, and and choice is obviously is up there too.
Yeah. Climate change, man.
Climate change is definitely there. But it just seems like with what's going on, like that's so far down on the list as far as the problems with our current president
Yeah.
having and what Biden will have to undo
Yeah.
in his 4 years or however long he
Yeah.
will be there.
But I mean, I can also I understand because I was in that position for a very long time of,
You were president?
yes, I
Oh my
forgot to tell you
God.
this.
Oh my God. It
7 years ago
slipped
before
your
we
mind.
met.
It's not a voting year. 2013. Got it.
I was president.
Cool.
Stranger Than Fiction is one of my favorite movies. Anyway, side note.
Side note.
I can understand how it is a moral imperative to some people for about abortion. I can understand that thought process. I don't agree with that thought process anymore because it is more than just.
What about the life begins at conception thing?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. But you understand how people can.
Oh,
agree with
100%.
that.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what time has given me, like,
Yeah.
or aging, I guess, growing up I've been able to see it from their side, but I don't agree with it.
right.
Because it's more important. The mother's life and health is more important, I think.
Correct. Yeah.
Thank you for calling me correct.
You're welcome.
Yes, I raised my hand and you called on me. Correct.
It's just yeah.
Because growing up, it took me, like I didn't take I'm so popular.
It's so popular. You didn't take like a health class or anything?
No,
like
I did.
that,
I was
or-
gonna say like a women's studies class or anything like that. Did you ever take anything like that in college or?
I took a health class in.
But basically, I didn't have I didn't have a super clear picture until I like of what like pro-choice and pro-life were.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta takes time to form your own opinion about that.
100%. And it's also understanding all aspects of it, doing
Yeah.
your own research, seeing you've got to read stuff from both sides.
Yeah.
Because both sides will take the same fact but sway it in a way. And I think partly also because of my public relations background and being able to understand the motives behind things and why certain things are done.
Got that spin.
You got that spin, man. That I can understand. I can see behind the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I can see like, okay, you're saying this because you took a survey and certain people like to hear these kinds of words in this kind of situation. Like I
Bullshit
can
meter
see
is
that
very
now.
Good.
But also like, I mean, I grew up where my dad and my mom communicated very differently. So I also think that I'm so good at my job because I'm able to translate and see from different perspectives. Oh, you're looking at the same thing, but you're just explaining it this way and you're explaining it that way. So I think that also helped me be able to form opinions by looking at both sides and understanding.
Yeah.
And also my grandfather would never let me just believe something because somebody else, he wouldn't let me parrot. He was like, you need to understand why you believe that.
Yeah. Anyway,
So,
let's turn
yeah.
into a politics heavy
Yeah.
slash.
We shouldn't. This is not what it's going to be like, but it's just, I feel like
No, it's
this
just
week has
it's what's
been-
going on in our life
Yeah,
right now.
it is.
And you know, social media has made it,
Yeah.
a thing.
It's especially hard just because also social media also has allowed people to remove filters. And so I think that has also created this thing. People have this inane right to say whatever comes to mind without
Yeah.
thinking first. And then they dig their heels in rather than be like, you know what? No, that was wrong. I'm sorry. There's something that today, for some reason, people cannot admit that they're wrong. They get so
'cause
shit on.
They're
if
empowered
people,
by the internet.
Well, yeah, because people also, like, if people be like, you know what, I believe this 5 years ago, this is what I believe now.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you're flip-flopper. Oh, are you lying
Right.
then or are you lying now? Like, it's just, it's, people should be
Yeah.
able to learn, should be able to grow. You should be able to change your mind.
We should just be extinct. We're stupid.
Oh,
I'm sorry. But it's causing me a lot of stress
yeah,
and anxiety that I didn't sign up for.
yeah. We are killing this
maybe we
earth,
did
too.
sign up for it. I don't know. What?
We're also killing this earth.
We are killing this earth.
We're killing it.
And there's a cool thing on Netflix. It's like a documentary / real life thing, like a real thing. It's called Mars.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
No.
It's on like the homepage. But I like anything that's space.
yes,
It's
you
all
do.
about visiting Mars and like
Oh,
making
cool.
it our next. That's what that show Away was about.
Oh, about going to Mars?
It was about making Mars like the first, going
Like a
away
colony?
from colonizing Mars,
Interesting.
which would be cool, I guess. It's not gonna happen in our lifetime.
No. Maybe.
There was like habitable water was just found on Mars.
Okay, so I know you do not watch it, but I watch a show called Doctor Who.
Got it.
And there is an episode where they go, it's literally called Mars Water. And there was some alien bacteria or something that caused people to become these weird rock water monsters.
Whoa.
And because they drank the water. So don't
Whoa.
drink the water on Mars.
Okay, that was a fantasy. This is real. Like they literally found water, which could lead to whatever we're made of.
Yeah. it could.
Carbon, right? Isn't that the base form of humans? Carbon.
I think so, yep.
Like that was the first molecule that.
I had to delete a lot of things in my brain, and that happened to be one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
For what? For just life?
Yes.
For work?
For work and life and being more
Being a person.
dedicated to certain things. I had to erase some of the
What's the
more
cool thing? Like that's like
science.
a cool thing that I keep in my head. I just like thinking about that because it makes me feel like it gives you perspective about life, like thinking about space and stuff.
Yeah.
Like what do you have stuff like that?
I couldn't tell you now, but there's always like these weird times where situations happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, this weird fact just came to me.
Oh.
And then I share that fact. But I can't.
Oh.
I can't just like tell you. I have to be like in
Or
the
like
situation.
the actor pregnancy thing.
Yes. I have this
Where
thing
you have
where
a thing in TV shows where you'll be like, oh yeah, this actress is so pregnant, that's why they're covering her belly right now.
exactly.
And
Like
I'm
I noticed that kind of thing. I was like, oh, they have to start doing these kinds of storylines because this actress is pregnant.
Yeah.
And she has to leave the show because she's on maternity leave. Don't worry.
Which is what is happening in the Blacklist apparently right now.
She will come back. She is not really dead.
You don't know
Spoiler.
that. You don't know that.
My prediction.
Nobody spoil that shit for us. We're on only season 4 or something.
Oh, I thought we were only on season 3.
The end of 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
End
Whatever.
of 3, early. Oh, maybe we are. Maybe it's early 3. Oh, I think you're right. I think it's early 3.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Because remember, they're long seasons.
they're like 24 episodes,
Yeah.
which I have a lot of respect for. Because can you imagine, like a lot of shows now, like on cable and stuff, will have like 10 episodes, like for dramas.
Oh, right.
They'll
Yeah.
have like 8 or 10 episodes, and it's
No, you're thinking British shows because they only have like
well, no,
3
like
episodes.
Better Call Saul or like Break,
Oh.
like that only had like 10 episodes per season or 12.
Really?
Yeah, I mean like
Oh.
shows on cable, like hard dramas will do that. And like Game of Thrones didn't do how many episodes?
Oh,
were
you're
that
right.
season?
There's I want to say there was between 10 and 15.
Yeah, like Breaking Bad, and that's a lot for like a. Well, I mean, maybe it's about right, but like on network, like 24 did this too, where they have 24 episodes in one season. Like, can you imagine writing that many cliffhangers and that many?
I know.
Like, oh, the terrorists, these different terrorists are coming
Yeah.
in now.
Well, it's like it's the face of TV has changed so much because you did have to
Yes.
used to write
It's handsome.
because you had to like we have to leave just a kernel of it doesn't have to be a huge cliffhanger, but we have to leave a kernel so that people will tune in next week
Yeah.
to continue this. Now people just binge. Like you
Yeah.
can literally watch an entire season in one sitting. So if one episode happens to be a snooze fest, you're not going to like never go back to that show. You're just
Yeah.
going to like skip it, go to the next episode and it'll be fine.
But yeah, so like a show like this, would we watch week to week Blacklist? Would you be, or would you bail out?
I don't know. I feel like I would watch it.
There was one season is really, there's like parts of it, there's storylines that are really awesome.
Yeah.
But then a lot of it, I don't know, some of the early stuff was good. James Spader's amazing. I love
He
that
is.
guy. You know,
We've been watching it so much, I've been starting to have dreams narrated by him. Did I tell you this?
I think so. What was the one last night? Was it last night that you had one?
No, last night I thought I heard a gunshot. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
startled me.
It was the bar. Probably the fucking bar.
Probably somebody just closing a door or something. But
was-
I heard a snap of some sort.
Or somebody throwing something in the recycling. I heard that a million times.
yeah.
You know what I mean? People just like throwing bottles in the garbage.
Yeah.
We live above a bar.
It's terrible. We hate it. Don't worry, we're going to move. So if anybody
Please,
has a house
nobody worry.
for rent in northern Kentucky / southern Ohio,
We are really good
we're great tenants.
tenants
We pay on time and in the full
on
amount
delivery. Yeah.
every month.
And yeah. Yeah, sure. What? How did we get onto this?
don't know.
I don't know. But
Tangents.
yeah, so a lot of politics. Talk the Blacklist.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like,
Oh, you know, I was gonna say about The Vow.
oh, right.
So
yes.
we just watched, which is a documentary about Nixium, which used to be like ESP or whatever, and
It's a cult for
it's a
people that
cult.
don't know.
That is the word I was looking for.
You're welcome.
Thank
I'm
you.
here for you.
But we're on the 7th. We just finished the 7th episode. I think there's
It's
only.
dragging, man.
It could have been 2-episode like special series, or it could have been a 2-hour documentary.
I feel like it could have been 5 episodes.
Maybe
It's because there's still like 1 or 2 more.
there's. I think it's 8. So I think there's one more.
Okay, so it probably could have been 5. I feel like there's 2. We're rehashing too many things.
Yeah.
There's things that could have been combined.
Yeah. We're rehashing just how creepy that motherfucker
He's
is.
so
Like, I don't need to
creepy.
know how many times he had a ponytail.
His hair, it just makes him even more of a creep. I can't.
And the way he's like kissing all the. Ugh!
Everybody on the mouth, like everybody straight
Yeah.
up on the mouth.
But and like yeah, a lot of it this week was rehashing the articles and stuff like the press that they're getting for.
Yeah. It's about them. This episode was about them gathering all of the evidence because they're going to talk to the attorney general.
Yeah, they're talking to the AG.
AG.
Oh, didn't you say someone was?
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
Tell this story.
So this documentary, this documentary, is like it's happening a year ago. It's like
Yeah,
the
something like
timeline.
that,
It's like
yeah.
this is whatever we're watching is happening in 2019, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So I just saw an article that one of the board members, and I'm saying that in quotes, you guys can't see this, but one of the board members was indicted and sentenced to jail time. I don't remember how much.
This was a classic case of you reading the headline and not
Yes,
the actual.
and not actually reading
So
the
I was
article.
like, so I asked you, was it because of the documentary? And you're like, I don't know.
and
didn't
then we
fucking
just
read
moved
it.
on with our lives.
But it reminded me of what happened with the Jinx because that because of the documentary that he was caught again.
Yes. That was one. Again, here's the thing. I watched it once. It had already all come out.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine at work, this is like right when I started Dean Houston, a gentleman that no longer works there, Chad, and I were talking because we were talking about I think we were talking about crime podcasts at the time.
Right.
I think doesn't matter. Anyway, so he's like, "Oh man, you need to check out this documentary on HBO called The Jinx." He was like, "Don't look up anything
Yeah,
online
seriously,
about
yeah.
it." He was like, "Just watch it." And I was like, "Okay." I literally watched the entire
Yeah.
season
Same.
that night and went and saw him the next day. I was like, "Oh my God." Because the last, 5
It's
minutes?
5 seconds of that show. It's just fucking phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, it's
It's good. The entire thing is good, but that last
Yeah.
4 seconds, that last 4 minutes,
Did
literally
you-
4 minutes of the episode, it changes
So you said you knew
everything.
about the story though?
No, I didn't know
Oh,
anything.
you didn't. Good. That's
Didn't
great.
know
'Cause
anything
neither
about
did I, but I didn't watch it like week to week, which is great because I could binge it. But yeah, the last 5 seconds, I feel like documentaries since then, since the Jinx have been out, they've been trying to get
that gotcha moment.
that kind of got you 5 seconds at the end. Then everyone's like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it's a tough thing to do. Got to have a lot of different things come together for that to happen.
Yeah.
But this Nixium thing is it's like, yeah, we get it. It's a cult, you know? But
Well, it's because also, again, I think it's part of it is also, this is so sad, but we're a little jaded because we watch so many cult documentaries.
we love them. Well, now we know
That I'm just like, it's a bad thing. Like, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, sex slaves, that's terrible. You're branding women. Don't do that.
God.
Fuck you. But at the same time, they're not doing murder plots like the Rosh
Hashanah.
not Rosh Hashanah. What was his name? The guy it was that cult that was out in Oregon.
Wild Wild Country.
Yeah, they wore all red.
Oh yeah.
What was his name? Rashnishi.
Rashnishi. I gotta watch that again, man.
They weren't doing murder plots like them, poisoning people.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
Well, now we've watched so many cult documentaries that we know the telltale signs. So if we ever get pulled into something, we're like, no, we know.
I know. I be knowing.
Guys, this is a cult.
Yeah.
It's funny how you watch these things and then when they're in it, because they show you old footage of them in the cult because they filmed everything.
Yeah.
In the Vow. They're nobody thinks they're in a cult. You know what I mean? They're just oh, we're following this guy, and then until it turns into a sex ring.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting.
It's so weird though to because not this episode but last episode the woman was talking about how once the article came out,
right,
how people were like, how could you not know, you're blaming the victim and all this kind of stuff, you're stupid for doing this. But when you're in that sort of situation, it's such tiny steps.
Yeah.
Just tiny steps in one direction that you don't realize that you have been cascading down this deep, dark hole.
Yeah.
And then when you finally look up, you're like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? Because it's just these tiny little steps.
And it goes back to what we were saying before. It's if all your friends are also in that group.
Correct, yeah.
So everyone you're talking to is pro that group.
Yeah.
But it would have been fine if it didn't turn into a sex thing and a weird, you know what I mean? Well, it would have been a cult, but I don't know. Why does it always got to end with everyone fucking the leader?
I don't know.
Seriously.
Men are disgusting.
They are. I apologize on behalf of
Thank you. I accept that
Keith
apology.
Raniere.
Gross. He's the worst.
He is the worst. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's our episode.
Sure.
We're at an hour.
We are?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fast.
54 minutes.
Look at that. We went on some tangents this time.
Yeah, but that's basically this show.
It is.
It is basically to let the world know that we're okay, that we're fine. So there was something else I was please go rate and review our podcast on iTunes.
Yes.
So we can get in that new and noteworthy section.
Yes. And then also, since we talk about such random topics and don't really have, we're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about. If you guys have a suggestion,
tweet us.
Tweet.
At Long Talks Pod. Long Talks POD.
Or, if you follow us Instagram or the group page on Facebook.
We're available is what we're saying.
Or just text me,
Just text Hannah.
You guys know me.
You guys know. Yeah, a lot of what we talk about is mental health, but that's just because it's part of
it's part of who we are.
It's part of our lives. It's part of our past.
Exactly. And it's not something that we should be ashamed about, and it should be fine for people to talk about.
No. Agreed. That's all I
Okay.
got. That's all I had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I love you.
I love you. Okay. Episode. We have to sing goodbye. Remember,
Oh, we do?
That's a thing.
Is it a thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Arthur. 3, 2, 1.
Goodbye.
Yep.